Good evening, everyone, or good morning, depending from where you're watching us from. I'm joined this evening or this night with my friend and brother Miguda. Miguda, how are you doing?
Quite well. Today
Mhm, mhm,
been I've been indoors, after church. Today is Saturday.
mhm.
So I am around.
Oh, you are around. Does it mean that today we were not having any Premier League?
There were today, but remember you only focus on the team you love. Like why should I waste my time watching other teams?
Hiyo ni ubaguzi wa Premier League.
Let me tell you, you have brought another a good question. Let me tell you one thing.
Eh,
Even when it comes to politics, if you are a
eh,
diehard for Gasha, why do
mm.
you waste time to rally?
Eh,
So
eh,
it's just like that.
hmm. All right. Thank you so much. I know there's so much that is going. Najua kuna mengi ambao inaendelea katika mlingo wa siasa, lakini pia kuna habari tofauti tofauti ambapo labda tukianzia, yesterday we did not look at the political angle, or we did not pay attention to the political pronouncement that were made by some of the Orange Democratic members of parliament, especially at the burial of the late Amimo. I took keen interest on what the senator for Migori said, and especially concerning the zoning, whereby he cautioned that there is no any other popular party that should come to or Luo region apart from ODM. He cautioned the people. He gave two categories of politicians, and he explained it further in vernacular that was there. I also listened to Gladys Wanga, and they are narrowing down on the zoning. And they, from the look of things, is that like they feel that in the areas that are dominated by the like ODM, the UDA should not even attempt, or any other political party that is affiliated with them should not even attempt to bring in any uh, like to fill in the candidates in those areas, and that is something that is worrying, especially when you look at the democratic space. Maybe for you, what is ODM trying to say about the other political parties that are interested, or any other person that is interested to run with another political party or political entity apart from ODM? Why are they cautioning the people, and how does that one put in democracy?
In terms of democracy, it is not promoting democracy,
Mm-hmm.
since we have also seen in other regions,
Mm-hmm.
people have not cautioned ODM not to fill their candidates.
Mm-hmm.
The issue by ODM does cautioning other people to not to fill the candidates more so in their stronghold, the issue of zoning,
Mm-hmm.
can be brought by the fact that the current leaders in ODM, they want to get their term or more terms because
Mm-hmm.
they are in that leadership structure.
Yeah.
Now, if they bring unity and the issue of zoning works on their favor,
Mm-hmm.
not their opponents,
Mm-hmm.
because some of them not very aware that they get direct tickets or they
Mm-hmm.
manipulate the nomination and the
Mm-hmm.
certificates.
Yeah.
Once they have certificates, and if
Mm-hmm.
you declare that this year is zoning, so you deny other people to contest against you. So you just have
Yeah.
a free walk, the way they
Mm-hmm.
used to have with the. I think it's just the fear of the
Mm-hmm.
current leaders of ODM. That's
Mm-hmm.
why they are issuing those warning. But all in all, I think it does not promote democracy. Since in a democratic society, you
Mm-hmm.
cannot decide for any person or a people what to do.
Mm-hmm.
You allow it to work freely.
Okay. Do you think there is this fear that is really creeping in, especially to the ODM members or the ODM members of parliament in the Luo Nyanza, whereby the UDA is finding inroads in those areas, and they feel like they are shaken in a way, so that they are coming up to send those cautions to or cautions their member of their community that no, we have to be in ODM, and that is what is going to at least give us a upper hand when it comes to bargaining. Let me take also this opportunity to say hi to Goodyear for joining us. Be good.
Okay, just very quick. I also want to
Yeah.
welcome Goodyear to the show and
Mm-hmm.
also uh, pass my greetings to Goodyear. The
Mm-hmm.
issue of UDA now, actually, I can tell you that UDA started to penetrate into the orange stronghold when Raila was alive. If you go those regions, you'll find there are some UDA headquarters, the UDA offices, which were never before the 2022 election. After the 2022 election, right now, there are UDA offices, almost the entire sub counties. You'll find very nice offices for the UDA. And also, there are people who have shown interest to
Yeah.
contest against OD candidates with the UDA ticket. For instance, in Suba South, we have people like Karolio Mondi. They can have their own way. Suba North, people like Serge Kimba declared that they are going for Suba North, the ODM ticket. And even in Obey County, people like Heston Omolo, they want to go for the gubernatorial with UDA. That creates fear among the current leaders in ODM
Yeah.
because the UDA is penetrating. UDA is penetrating.
Go ahead. Can you hear me, Miguda? All right. Still, maybe Miguda has a problem with its internet, and I can see. Hello, you can do it. Thank you for your comments. Hi, hi. K Suarez Vijay Kumar. Hi, bro. I'm okay. Just let me know where you're watching us from. We are just having a conversation, looking at the political terrain of our good country Kenya, where we are looking at the ODM and the fear that they have. Miguda, are you done with your submission?
Yeah, I'm here. Let me conclude. If you can hear
Mm-hmm.
me,
Mm-hmm.
I was saying that the UDA are stretching. They started this journey after the
Mm-hmm.
elections of 2022. By first, they ensure that they recruit members of the UDA, and you
Yeah.
saw even before Cleo Malala, Gachagua left UDA, Cleo Malala was recruiting members of the UDA in Luo Nyanza. They
Mm-hmm.
also ensured that they build offices, the branches across the
Yeah.
sub-counties in Nyanza. At the same
Mm-hmm.
time, they also planted leaders who are going to contest for those seats
It's,
across. They were
uh,
marked each and every leader. By the
mm,
time they were doing all this, you find that the ODM people actually were relaxing, knowing very well that one day it will be zoning, Baba will be alive, they
yeah.
will be carrying hands. But as things stand right now, you find that Baba is no longer there.
Mm-hmm.
The popularity of Baba is no more. People loved Baba. People don't love. People never loved them. So right now they have been in shock. They are now saying, okay, let us zone, let us put orange. We don't want UDA. It's too late. According to me, it's too late.
Mm. Okay, thank you so much. This is, let me see, I'm confused with the team Gashagwa. Are they being bought by Ruto or it is just systematic? That is something also we should speak about because Gypsy, thank you for highlighting that. What happens is this, there were notable figures that were around Rigathi Gachagua, especially after his impeachment. But if you're very keen, the numbers have been reducing. Remember, in the initial stages or the first stages when Rigathi Gachagua was impeached, he was a darling to so many, especially when people would want to listen to what Rigathi Gachagua is saying. I mean, Remember, we used to have the former Bahati member of parliament, that is Kimani, was a very strong supporter of Rigathi Gachagua. We used to have Gathoni Wamushomba, was also a very strong supporter of Rigathi Gachagua. And somebody who is now very, very, very much quiet from Gashagua's camp is Ketwa Ruguru from Laikipia, the former women rep. Remember, Ketwa Ruguru is like a fire Simba Jike, anajita hivyo. And we are not seeing so much of her. And the other day, I was looking at, I was reading a post from, it is a political space for Meru. I saw there was that post that Ketua Ruguru soon joining President William Ruto. And there's something that is happening with the Rigathi Gachagua. Maybe he's losing the influence, or there's something that is happening politically that I might not explain. Maybe Miguda, what can you say about that? Okay, thank you so much. As I still wait for Miguda, so Gypsy, you are on point, because very notable figures, especially that started the journey with the Rigathi Gachagua immediately after his impeachment, are shedding, you know, and that begs the question: he's still very, very strong. Does he still have very strong influence in Mount Kenya the way he used to? Remember, Rigathi, people used to wait for Sundays, especially to give him the mic. You know, yeah, everything, we call it the comeback. And he was very good at the comebacks, and people would wait on Sunday. That they would say that when he goes to a church, they do not want any member of parliament to speak, or those who are escorting him, then to give him an opportunity. Karungo Dhangwa too is not now very, very, very much, you know, there are those um, notable figures that are no longer very, very, very frequently with Rigathi Gachagua. So that is something that is notable. Let's come back to about the ODM, speaking about the zoning, especially from what we saw. To me, I think ODM are feeling that they are losing the ground. And the reason why I tend to agree that ODM are losing the ground, if you're very keen, and you know, sometimes you get the data from the source. I remember when the later Memo's mother was given an opportunity to speak. There's only few requests that he made. And remember, if you listen even to how the members of parliament and the leaders were talking about Amimo, seemingly, or from the look of things, Amimo was a very, very, very close, was very close to all these politicians due to influence he had, because like he was a media personality. So he gave people an opportunity to air their views, and also as a private, maybe a private consultant to some of them. But when Amimo's mother, Meguda, you back?
Yeah, I'm back. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yeah, I can hear you. I was just giving an opinion on the ODM, and I wanted to bring this as my point of argument, especially on Amimo's mother. When Amimo's mother was paying last respect and giving thanks to those who stood with her, last request that he made it to Raymond Omolo. Yeah. And remember, when he was making this to Raymond Omolo, we had the party leader of ODM, that is Dr. Buru Dinga, was there. We had the party chair, that is Gladys Wanga, and we have very senior officials of ODM were in attendance. But the only plea that I don't think Raymond Omolo was not around, but he made this plea to Raymond Omolo: please find a way of one of his I think daughters or sons, or maybe the grandchildren, to be given employment somewhere. So it tells you that Raymond Omolo, as things stand, he might not be so much influential right now, but Raymond Omolo is gaining so much inroads in the larger Luo community or Luo political base, that he becomes like he owns like 50% of everything that happens. That if something happens, the first person that people would think to uh to to relay message to is Raymond Omolo, and that is something that I think is also making ODM to be in a panic mode, especially the leadership in the Nyanza region, the Luo Nyanza region.
Let me say first, the UDA
Mm-hmm.
have done extremely excellent to penetrate into Luo Nyanza by the
Mm-hmm.
time people were relaxing, waiting for Raila to endorse them. So it has been overtaken by events,
Mm-hmm.
and that's why you find out that right now the ODM people or leaders are busy telling the people that they should do zoning and they should respect their so strong. No one should feel violent
Mm-hmm.
with that stronghold because they know very well that they don't work. And as things are right now, people
Yeah.
can elect anybody, doesn't matter because Raila is no more. Number two,
Mm-hmm.
you
Mm-hmm.
have said a very vital point that when Mama was given an opportunity to speak,
Mm-hmm.
at that age, if Mama can only think of Raymond Omolo,
Mm-hmm.
it means that even them, they know very well that the ODM people, they're just too loud, but
Mm-hmm.
they cannot assist anybody when it comes to employment. You know,
Yeah.
Raymond Omolo has been making action, which are
Mm-hmm.
significant. And
Mm-hmm.
recently, when our soldiers were being recruited, the Kenya Defense Forces, you understand Raymond Omolo is in the docket of internal security, but most of our parents ran to Raymond Omolo
Yeah.
seeking for those opportunities for the KDF. And when
Mm-hmm.
the police recruit came also, people ran to Raymond Omolo. I think right now in the region where we are coming from, people
Mm-hmm.
prefer Raymond Omolo because as I can report to you that Raymond Omolo's actions
Yeah.
are realize there are things that are achievable because if he promise you a job,
Mm-hmm.
actually you will get it. If he promise
Mm-hmm.
you to construct for you anything, and even the people who are surrounding Raymond Omolo, the blogger, the photographer, they are just young tax who
Yeah.
came from school yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
So he has shown hope to the
Yeah.
community. And
Mm-hmm.
you know, when people talk about you, it gets
Mm-hmm.
to the ears of the old people. Now that
Mm-hmm.
why when Mama was given opportunity, he forgot all the friends of Amimo,
Yeah.
like Oburo Dinga, the party chairperson, people like Ojienda. He just focused, even forgot their area member of parliament and
Yeah.
focus on Raymond Omolo. To me, I can say power is attractive. Power attracts.
Mm-hmm.
And when you have power, you attract even the old people. Raymond Omolo seems to have a power whereby he attracts. So if you reach at his desktop, you
Mm-hmm.
can get something. And unlike these people of ODM, they are used to the people, but their promises are not realized. I think that's why Mama had to refer to Raymond Omolo in his absence, that Raymond Omolo, we plead with you to assist us get a job.
All right. Thank you so much. And I can see our good friend Musimamo has also joined us on the podcast of today that we are going to do like an hour or so. Msimama Barigani. Msimama Barigani. Okay, that's okay. And Miguda, another thing that also, as we want to start the conversation of today about something that why you'd prefer people would go to Raymond Omolo is that, you know, some of the ODM members, you know how they were elected, you know, some of them really were elected in the umbrellas of Baba, and their main issue was only to make sure that Baba feels good, but like the people who were elected them, they tend to forget them. So you find that when they are approached, sometimes they don't give immediate feedback, but Raymond Omolo will try his level best. I've seen, even from Jacaranda, I've always heard the Jacaranda people talking about the funerals that they usually have. They mention the name of Raymond Omolo and the amount that Raymond Omolo has contributed. And I think it is something on a weekly basis, something that has to happen. And they would reach to Raymond Omolo, and Raymond Omolo would participate by assisting. and that one alone is beating them. And if the next general election, this is my prediction, the next general election, when it comes to um, members of parliament, I tend to believe that UDA will get quite a number of votes, especially quite a number of members, especially in Luo Nyanza, because the broad-based government is that we are all supporting President William Ruto. So there's no way in which you can to come and um, support President William Ruto and you tell William Ruto we should not fill in a candidate, yet your nomination style is not going to give people what they want. So I think they should go back on the drawing board and strategize. That is what I think. No, Miguda,
Okay, okay. Before you
yeah.
proceed, kindly,
Mm-hmm.
it is very important for to allow people to contest because, for instance, let's
Mm-hmm.
take Nairobi County.
Mm-hmm.
If Nairobi County, you have zone ODM and
Mm-hmm.
you have not allowed UDA to contest, the funds for the UDA will not turn out to vote.
To
But if you
vote.
allow ODM and UDA to contest, all
Mm-hmm.
fan base will wake up to vote and they'll vote
Mm-hmm.
for William Ruto. So it's
Mm-hmm.
very advantageous for William Ruto not to zone. The moment you zone, you are
Yeah.
benchmarking, you want to bench a formidable player, then the
Yeah.
people, the fans, might not
Yeah.
turn out to vote for you. So it is favorable for people to for you to have light turnout. You must allow people to contest. So all fans will wake up and vote for their different governors or MPs or MCs or mayor. But the president remains the same, one person. So that's why we say there's no need of you zoning. If you zone, low
Mm-hmm.
voter turnout.
All right, thank you so much. Let's just look a few inside President William Ruto political narratives. President William Ruto right now has come with a political narrative, and he is slowly or quietly switching the conversation um, from where it is right now to the conversation of about Singapore or the giants. And seems to be um, the narrative that will be used for 2027. And it is um, like, let's say, like a producer or somebody who wants to produce a movie, he will give you a snippets, or if not a snippet, like kutease. Kwa Kiswahili tunasema kwamba ametease, ni kwamba unajua labda kama tuseme kwamba mwanamuziki mzuri ametoa kawimbo yake fulani, atatoa chorus to keep you waiting. Unaona, is teasing that. So President William Ruto has been teasing about the Singapore, and the narrative is picking up, you know. And how is this narrative picking up? The narrative is picking up based on where and what President William Ruto is doing at the time of speaking that. I want to give you something that Latif, Latif is one of the well-experienced journalists, say the other day. This Latif said this one on Tuesday. With less than 2 years to the next election, Ruto shifted the national conversation like he did in 2021 when he introduced the hustler narrative. Now the nation is entire a new narrative. Singapore, the president is selling a new dream of possibility that Kenyans can live like the people of developed nations. He doesn't describe what exactly that lifestyle looks like, but they just imagine it and believe it. The believability, dream. That is what Latif said. And Latif is making a very big sense here for somebody to interpret. Let me also come to what Yvonne Okwara also said, and I will quote Yvonne Okwara. One of the things that completely epitomizes a first world country is a strong sense of national values that come straight from the top. You connect You cannot be one day saying we shall do all these great things, and the next day you are insulting people on the rooftops. That's another thing that Yvonne Okwara is raising. So this is a conversation that we have to look at, and look at the people themselves and say that the narrative, President William Ruto is gifted, especially when it comes to narrative, as now is teasing is Singapore narratives, and it's working. You saw it when he was launching the houses, and he said that, look at, this is the Singapore. Today or the other day, he was driving himself in one of the highway and addressing the issues, and these things were captured on the camera. And, that's how President William Ruto built this narrative, And one thing that a majority of people do not understand about the political literacy and the political elite, and President William Ruto knows and understands that one in politics, and is using it so well that by the time the other competitors will realize, it will be too late for them. Mr. Miguda, what do you have to say about Ruto political narrative and what the giant dream, especially the Singapore and Malaysia, is being teased by the President William Ruto?
First, before I respond, I just want to blame the opposition or the claimed united opposition, because William Ruto is initiator of narratives, and they are falling in those traps. Because today I saw them responding to the issue of Singapore. It's like William Ruto is setting for them a standard. So without William Ruto, they have no issue. Without William Ruto, they have nothing to tell the people. That is not how they should approach politics. They should approach politics differently. When Ruto was preaching about bottom-up economy, Raila was not even interested in whatever Ruto was saying. Raila was about the trickle-down economy. You have to twist. And Raila was also saying things like one county, one product, 6,000 per month for people, such things. You also be creative and you be unique on your own. Not that after your opponent has set agenda for you, you fall into the trap of the opponent. Then you all of a sudden also you want to respond. So it means that he has engaged you, he has contained you, and that's why he's busy laughing. Because were it not for him to bring the issue of Singapore, opposition could not be responding to the Singapore. So when Ruto is cunning to the extent that people no longer criticize him or oversight, people are busy responding to the issue. So if tomorrow he will bring the issue of South Sudan, they will also focus on South Sudan. That's why we have to agree that Ruto is a superstar of narratives, and the people we should blame are his competitors, because that is his own creation of politics, and that is his own target of his audience. Even you people, you need to have your own unique of creation and with the target, because your audience are not Ruto's audience. We can't have the same audience. The audience which Ruto is targeting is quite different with the audience of Gachagua.
Okay, okay. Uh, I hope Guda is going to come back. This is what Gypsy says. When I used to say that Ruto is smarter than most of us, I was being stolen from all the corners. Yes, that's what I'm telling you. What happens is this. When you look at, let me just bring you to 2021. President William Ruto came up with what we call hustler. And people went to the dictionary, and even on the TV platforms, those who are competitors or those who are campaigning against him, they gave the definition of a real hustler according to Oxford University. And that is something that we could do. And it was done so many times. And let me just, and that's where I want to bring for you the history, where President William Ruto started. Yeah. So yeah, there are two, and One of them is aggressively enterprising person, a go-getter. That is one. The other one was talking about a prostitute, as a hustler. And people who are campaigning against President William Ruto really spoke about that, and they tried to discredit that. Then from there, President William Ruto came up with the Hustler Nation. And during the 2021, President William Ruto managed to create a Hustler Nation. And this Hustler Nation was inclusive. It had Mamamboga, it had everybody. It was not, he created his own tribe of Hustler Nation. Yeah, and this tribe included all the tribes, and people had said that this government is going to be formed by you. And it is a narrative that sells. Remember, it also came between the dynasty and the dynasty, the people who have, their parents have ruled, remember. And people were buying it. And they said that these people are the people who has made us, but this time around we are going to form this government with hustlers, which really sold well. Then he came with economic model that was bottom up. Those who are down or those who are forgotten in the society will be given an opportunity. And it sold well. And people really bought into it. And it's really gave President William Ruto a platform. Then today, we don't talk of Hustler Nation. Actually, the Hustler Nation is gone. We don't talk of about bottom up. We don't even talk about of the Hustler Fund. But now we are talking about the Singapore, and the Singapore is selling. Yeah, Singapore is selling. And Miguda, also want to agree with you about what you said about the demographics, especially when it comes to politics. There's something that also we need to understand here, Miguda, when we are talking about politics, the political elite and the political illiteracy. The political elite are people who are educated, I would call so, and they are people who wants to know the facts, or there are people who would question when you come up with a narrative. Like, for instance, you come with up that we want to be like Singapore, and they will go and do a research and say that, okay, how did Singapore become Singapore? Then they will tell you how it started. They master it because, like, you're looking at the facts and say that this is not actual. This cannot be actualized based on how the Ruto is approaching it, because you are elite. But there are those who are what we call the political illiteracy. They don't care. They are driven by emotions. You know that political elites are not driven by emotions. But the masses, the political masses are driven by emotions. So you find that the president has learned that, and he uses that emotions. He doesn't care about the political elites, those who question this and this and this and this. No, but he has to make sure that he uses the masses that are emotionally being moved politically. That is what I want to say. So that is something that President William Ruto is using to sell the narrative of Singapore. Yes, Migud, are you there? Migud, are you available?
Yeah, I'm available. Let me. I was saying, when you are in politics, you should not worry about your opponent or his audience. Ruto is focusing on his audience.
Yeah.
And the entire country cannot support him. So you as his opponent, you should focus on the side that does not agree with him, and also find a narrative and sell to those people. Find what resonates so well with your audience. It doesn't matter. Find what you can communicate effectively to the people who follows you. Look at what your followers like. Do not concentrate on your opponent's agenda. And those lies resonate so well, Ruto. You know, when Ruto renamed Talanta Hela Stadium to Raila Amolo Odinga Stadium, he won the hearts of Raila's followers, just like that. And you want to go and start also addressing him on that
Yeah.
issue. You are
Mhm.
missing the point. You
Mhm.
focus on what your fans love and
Mhm.
send that agenda. That's why Ruto was saying these people, they have no agenda, they have no
Mhm.
manifesto,
Mhm.
because he understands politics. And Ruto has been there for a quite long time. He
Mhm.
understands our politics. Remember in 2013, in 2007, Ruto sold to us 42 against 1, the
Yeah.
tribal card.
Yeah.
Then in 2013, he sold to us digital versus
Analog.
analog. Then
Tumetoka
2013,
digital tunaenda analog, tumetoka
tumetoka analog na digital.
yeah,
Then
tunatoka analog tunaenda
2017,
digital. Mhm.
2017 brought to us the issue of 4-point agenda, the Jubilee 4-point agenda.
Mm.
Then 2022, ASLA, economic bottom-up economic model.
Mm.
2027, Singapore, Malaysia. So this is someone who is in the jungle. We call him
Mm.
cunning hare. You know
Mhm.
how to manipulate other animals in the jungle. That's why we are still urging this opponent. If they are not serious, they should give way for people who can face William Ruto because they are still not ready to face William Ruto. Let them give way for people who can face William Ruto because this thing is very simple. If you can get a formidable opponent, William Ruto is very easy for him to become one term. You just need to change your narrative and
Mhm.
focus on your audience. Don't engage him. Don't
Mhm.
even give him attention. You find your narrative, sell it to your people. Bro Benson, like
Mhm.
for example, you find out that me, I'm a supporter of Manchester United.
Yeah.
Gypsy Corner is a
Mm.
supporter of Liverpool. But
Yes.
Gypsy Corner is very much interested on Liverpool issues, not Man
Mm.
U. And
Yeah.
if you go to Anfield, you'll
Mm.
find people there. If you go to Old Trafford, you'll find fans there. So what do?
Mm.
Focus
Mm.
on the fans of Old Trafford as a Man U
Mm.
manager, and also
Mm.
focus on the fans Liverpool as a Liverpool manager. Do
Mm.
not go and copy paste what
Mm.
Ruben Amorim is doing at Old Trafford
Yeah.
to copy paste it to Anfield. You
Mm.
focus on your fans because you can't have everybody by your side. You must have your
Uh,
base. Focus on your base, persuade
mm.
them, make
Yeah.
them strong people to follow you the
Mhm.
way Rala used to have a fanatic base. And that's
Mhm.
how politics work. But this issue of you are busy giving your
Mhm.
opponent attention.
Mhm.
That's why Root is laughing each and every day because it's like it's getting them, it's getting their point.
Okay, thank you. And one thing that also you spoke about, and this one still bring us to about ODM. And let me tell you, and this is something that maybe when come 2027, Kenyans should stop crying over split milk, split milk. When former Hon Uhuru Kenyatta warned people, they thought that yeah, yes, you know. And another thing that here that also I want to say about you've spoken about the naming of Talanta Island and all that. I'm telling you, when you go to the ODM zone, ODM zone, especially we call them the ODM traditional, those who have been voting ODM, you know, especially for the love that they have for Raila. I tell you, despite the fact that we are talking about the voter apathy, whereby majority of people will not vote because, like, maybe the driving factors of the motivating factor of Raila not being on the ballot box is missing. So no, maybe you know, President William Ruto have understood well that the majority of um, population, the traditional voting bloc for Raila, when you look at Kisumu, Migori, Homa Bay, and Siaya, they don't come out in large numbers, especially to vote. But President William Ruto, I know for a fact President William Ruto will create those motivating factors. One, remember, Raila is not going to be there. And I don't think that ODM has reached a point whereby they can have what we call transparent by nomination, whereby uh, the leader who people want will be given the certificate. There will be those moments whereby the ODM favorites will be given the certificate. And that one is going to open a room, especially for President William Ruto, especially for the nomination that is going to take place in Luo Nyanza, to be free, such that even if it is somebody who doesn't have anything wins that nomination, he will be given the certificate. And that's how now the motivating factor will be there will be those who will be voting to punish the ODM because of what they done. But as they go to punish, because they will be coming in large number to vote for UDA, they will the same time voting for president. So that is one. Secondly, there will be an issue of money that will take place. You know, there will be that issue of money, especially for those who are going to vote in the campaign. So that one also will form part of it. And lastly, that will make now the traditional voting of members of ODM will vote is especially what President William Ruto has done within this short period of time in terms of ever since they had a cooperation with Raila. Look at the state funeral. That one will play an integral part. And that is where now I was bringing what we called the emotions, what drives the emotions of the people. And President William Ruto has tried his level best to give it all for what is being asked. Look at what has happened in Oma Bay. That one will be part of this. Look at, you said when Raila was being buried, Wanga quoted that we want the Talanta Raila to be named after Raila. Do you know what it means for that stadium to be named after Raila? And some are still pushing for Kisumu International Airport also to be named after Raila. Because if they push it hard, it will be, because what does President William Ruto want? President William Ruto wants the vote. So anything you ask, yeah, it will be given unto you. So, and it's not going to be tied to ODM. Yeah, it is going to be tied to the people who are the lovers of the Raila Amolo Odinga. So the Raila Odinga effect and naming of everything that they feel are very crucial, especially like if by any chance they push for Kisumu International Airport to be named after Raila, then I tell you that one will be the ceiling nail. And President William Ruto will be voted with especially the traditional voters of the Right Honorable Prime Minister Raila Amolo Odinga in the Luo land.
Yeah, that's how politics works, because politics is very much dramatic and very much, you understand that people like things like if you have talked about mentioning, they will say, okay, Ruto has honored Raila even in his death. And remember, Raila was Ruto's nightmare. So if Ruto used to abuse Raila, Mganga Mchawi, and now Ruto has removed a heart for Raila, amemtolea kofia ya kwamba indeed you are an enigma. We mistook you. So I can say that it is true, but other thing you find out that the people competing with William Ruto should also come to reality. And Ruto is ready to do anything. You know, when he attended the Pinyluo cultural ceremony by the Luo community, it shows them that I'm with you. Even in your cultural activities, I'm part and parcel of the community. Anything you ask, I'll give you. You propose the Talanta, I gave you. Right now, that Kisumu, I can assure you, the way I've said, Kisumu will be renamed.
Yeah.
And also the issue of state funeral will play a key, vital. You can argue that what are those things? Are those things development? Are those things? No, they are not developments. But that's how politics work, because just like you have clearly stated that elites versus illiterate, elites will be reasonable and rational into their thinking and their submissions. But the illiterate will go with the masses. What is popular? They don't care. And that's why up to date, we have many people who have never read the constitution, but they pass it because Baba Leshasoma.
Yeah.
So it is not going to end today. We are going to have those people even in 2060. They are going to be in the existence. They are not going to vanish all of a sudden. That all of a sudden every Kenya is an elite. That Kenyans are all elite. They have embraced elite. No, those are the people. That's why I was saying the president is busy focusing on his audience, his vote base. So if you are intelligent, also focus on your base, build it very strong so that they are ready even to defend you when your victory is stolen. But if you build a weak stronghold, then William Ruto will just have them for a breakfast. Sometimes it's always good to live in a reality, the realistic thought, because as things stand right now, William Ruto is taking away those Raila supporters, is getting them through honoring Raila in his death. What are you doing to their hero? What are you doing to their man? Even in his absence, do you still remember him? Do you still recognize him? They say, okay, because people loved Raila. So if you can continue loving him in in his grave, then you have them. It is very simple. If you can do, they just like you doing things for Raila, hata kikofa. That's why I'm saying it is very sometimes important if you are inexperienced in politics, but you should read history and you should have close counselors who are also aiding you on how to speak,
To
on how
speak.
to move. But don't just wake up from your house and start politics. No, you need to take time and do a lot of consultation.
All right, and this one also, when you look at united, they're not united anyway. Let me not call the united opposition. The united opposition, I've taken a low key, because if you look at keenly the united opposition, I tend to look at in two ways. I'm looking at Rigathi Gachagua. Remember, when Rigathi Gachagua was impeached, yeah, Rigathi Gachagua used to be very, very popular and influential. I can remember majority of the united opposition leaders, they would troop to where Rigathi Gachagua is, because they used to call it that he injects. And like people would want to listen to what Rigathi Gachagua says. But when you look at it right now, we cannot deny that the popularity of Rigathi Gachagua is declining. And what might have caused the decline of the popularity of Rigathi Gachagua? To me, I would read this. I would read the manner in which Rigathi Gachagua addresses when it comes to the public. What is he saying? Because remember, when you're talking about the political elite who believes in facts and numbers and figures. These are people like, you see, like people like Ndindi Njoro, they raise the issue when it talked to the selling of the Safaricom shares and all that. Those are the people that we call in the political elite. And this political elite, they have the jobs. They have jobs that they're doing. So they do questions. So majority of the political elites usually questions some of the reasoning that are raised by Rigathi Gachagua, And if you're very keen, I told you about very, very prominent leaders from Mount Kenya who started with Rigathi Gachagua, especially the Mount Kenya in diaspora. Let's start with the Mount Kenya in diaspora. In the Mount Kenya in diaspora, you had Kimani, former Bahati member of parliament. And I can remember even when he was taken to the hospital, Kimani cried. He alilia pale katika hospitali. Gathoni wa Mushamba Gathoni wa Mushamba is not from diaspora. So he's telling you, apart from the Mount Kenya in diaspora, I know Jen Kiara, But now, then come again, because we have Kate Waruguru. Kate Waruguru is a political puncher, and she knows how to deliver messages. If you have Kate Waruguru on your side, it's a very nightmare to your opponent. Like she will deliver. That put aside. Also, the Kate Waruguru, I'm also seeing Kimani. So you find that they are leaving, or they're taking a distance watch. They're not together with Rigathi Gachagua because of maybe the kind of politics maybe Rigathi Gachagua is doing is not working for them. So, and now that one also even weakens of opposition further, because one of the things that Rigathi Gachagua used to have was about owing that I own Mount Kenya and I have the numbers. That was the main reason that was attracting even people like Kalonzo Musyoka to Rigathi Gachagua. But now, if that popularity is going, how is that one going to assist opposition? And maybe that's why people like Musalia, Okengo Matiang'i are deciding to start go their own way, negotiate their own way, maybe.
Yeah. If I could be Rigathi Gachagua, to me, first, I will have rebrand myself, because up to now, there's still time, nothing has been lost. This politics. One day in politics is like 10 years.
Yeah.
You need to rebrand yourself and first also swim with the current dynamics of this time. Don't get back to other old tactics. Number two, Gashaka also should sometimes give way to new idea. Understand that if you have a good idea, it leads to a better idea.
Yes.
If indeed he has a good idea, let him give way to a better idea.
Yes.
You can even allow people like Okengo Matiang'i, let him not have static or stagnant thought that it must be Kalonzo.
Yeah.
That Kikuyu must just support. No, you can Kalonzo. If Kalonzo, Kalonzo can give way to Matiang'i and the front Matiang'i. You look for someone who can match William Ruto. You look for someone who can punch the way Ruto is punching. If Gachagua has not an opportunity, but do not bring someone who is weak against William Ruto. Think that the people will assist you. This is politics, my friend. Sometimes you can have the people, but you cannot be declared.
Okay.
The issue of Gachagua, still, you talk. If I could be Gachagua also, I could have signed Ketwarguru. I could have signed Ketwarguru, even if it's not in the first 11. But actually, Ketwarguru should be in first 11. And also, I could have signed other members in Ruto's camp. You need to sign more players. You don't need players to come to your team and you want them to starve. You must give them better services and also maintain them. People like Kate Warguru are very effective in his camp, in Gashawa's camp. But now look at Kate Warguru. Even when Muchomba was very effective, the people who are very effective have actually left. But the people who had nothing into his camp have now maintained. So it's high time. You saw Ruto assigned Mudama in Ukambani.
Yes.
Ruto assigned Sonko in Nairobi. Ruto is doing more signings. Ruto signed Maina Njenga. And there's more signing going on. So let Gachagua also do a lot of signings, because we are going to a very competitive elections. And also let him look for money, because what we are experiencing with this current regime, they have money and they are ready to spend it so that they can get their second term. So it's going to be a politics of numbers.
All right. Thank you so much. I can see my brother here. He has dropped again. I think he has a problem with the network. As we were saying earlier, let me see, what is Gachagua battling the mountains lot, but we sasa umeleta nyinyi Arsenal wako aje bwana? We si uongelee timu yako Judith, mbona hautaki kuongelea Arsenal? Okay, sasa thank you though for your comment. And that one would speak volumes, and this one still come to the united opposition, or those who are not those who are wants to get an opportunity to lead in the next government of president, in the next government, that is 2027. They still do not have they still do not have somebody who would punch. You know, the political puncher, somebody who does political punching, especially, is very okay. Remember, Rigathi Gachagua used to be a political puncher for President William Ruto, especially when they were campaigning against Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, especially when they come to Mount Kenya politics. But I think his popularity is going down, Mr. Miguda, and that one puts opposition, and that one I think people like Matiang'i, maybe that's why they do not want to work together. Now, come again to the narrative of President William Ruto, because you know, as much as so many people might disagree with President William Ruto and all his political narratives that is kind of like appealing to the masses, you find that he keeps on, you know, when he gets an opportunity, the words that he uses unajua kuna inanikumbusha kuna nchi mingi ambao watu wamependa maua, yaani kuletea mtu maua, hiyo umemfanyia jambo kubwa sana, na kuna nchi zingine ambao ukiwaletea maua haujawafanyia watu wengine. So president knows how to use the words in a very enticing ways, you know. And I don't know whether the members of opposition, they know that President William Ruto especially is good, especially when it comes to that, you know. And they tend to go with the majority of the political elite. The majority of political elite are not people who are driven by emotions. We said that earlier. These are people who are driven by facts. And the masses, especially, are driven by emotions. You know, what evoke the emotion, and they will make you vote for you. So that is something that the opposition, the united opposition, should master. And how can we encounter and make sure that the political elite, the political elite, we have a group that is appealing to political elite, and how can we appeal to the masses by evoking the emotions? And how do you evoke the emotion? There's so many ways they can do it as opposition leaders. You know, there's so many things that President William Ruto is doing. They can encounter that, you know. And how do you counter it? You also have to make sure that the emotions of the people are you have to move the people's emotion, and that would play an integral part, Mr. Miguda.
Brother Benson, you know, politics is a very sweet game if only you understand it. But if you don't understand it, then you are not going to get it right. First, you must understand politics before you get into politics, and you must know what you're saying. For instance, you know, when Gachagua used to be a puncher, he used to punch William Ruto. William Ruto never responded to Gachagua. You observe that one. He never responded to anything Gachagua was saying. But now when Ruto is punching at Gachagua, Gachagua is busy responding to William Ruto. What kind of person is Gachagua? Because you should learn that you focus on what you are saying. Continue punching. Do your things. The people who believes in you. Don't hijack or don't respond to someone's. Ruto has been consistent on his audience, on his messages, and is focusing. Gachagua also should ignore. He should not respond to him. Let him focus on what he's doing. Number two, in politics also, because you don't need to have permanent enemies, you need to be very careful on what you say, because you might need your opponent in future. It has worked and it's working. That's the nature of the politics. Sometimes when you must speak the truth, try to hide the truth. Some people do hide the truth. You can use metaphor, you can use biblical analogy to hide the truth. For instance, when Gachagua was saying that Ruto amenunua ODM, amepatia Junet na Wanga pesa deposit. You understand, when Winnie was speaking out, Winnie said, kuna wenzetu tunatembea nao mchana na usiku wanauza chama. He never mentioned the names. He just used a narrative of day and night. But so you don't need to be very much open. You need to hide some truths so that it it's up to the person you are referred to justify or not. So sometimes we are just saying that it is true, his popularity has declined, but those are just mistakes he made by himself. Not that there is anything that has happened or somebody has done what. So it's still early. He can even be popular. He
Mm,
needs just to go back,
mm,
re-strategize, retreat, and have
mm,
some new thoughts and also organize. You know, in sometimes when you are in a war, but you
mm.
find that you are losing, you go back and retreat, you organize and come back.
Yeah, okay. All right. Thank you so much. And this is what Goodyear says for us here. Brother Benson Media, there is no contest. Ruto is leading with a bigger percentage. What will the united opposition bring on the table, which will make the public vote for them? Maybe if they do, it's all about packaging. If they repackage themselves, and what they should do also for them to give the hope for the people that might be believing in them, because like they have quite a number that are to come together, give somebody, because like from what you're saying, you're looking at the united opposition. They're sending mixed signals. Is either Kalonzo Musyoka can run, Matiang'i will run, Gachagua also still believes he's going to run. So those mixed signals, this unity amongst themselves is not creating impact at all. So if they can at least organize themselves, start to use their secretariat, hit the ground, then that will give them mileage. So that is what I think. Uh, I was about to join the modern ODM till Gladys Wanga turned. Which modern? Which one is modern and which one is old? Okay. Miguda, let me just look at the Matiang'i factor, because the Matiang'i, when you look at his style of politics, is kind of like quite much different with that one of Rigathi Gachagua, and he doesn't have a political party. Is riding on a jubilee. How is his stake?
Hello? Matiang'i was, according to me, Matiang'i could be better. But there is a problem whereby a people or individuals believe that they own united opposition. You cannot own the people that I'm the leader of the united opposition, I am the spokesperson, I have a final say. You are scaring away potential leaders. You are scaring away because people believe that if you are the everything, and even if you propose me to be the president, you will micromanage me and not be independent. You will ensure that even when it comes to appointments, which is prerogative for the president, it is the president who has the prerogative to appoint. You will influence my authority. So you want to make me president to influence my authority. Remember, even Uhuru Kenyatta was very authoritative. That is why he had to say, no, I can't work with my deputy. Matiang'i, I've now promoted you to be having some duties which were initially for the office of the deputy president. That is what we call authoritatively. No one should intimidate you as a president. It is the people who gave you power, not an individual. When you start speculating that I will have 50% of government, you start speculating that I'm the spokesperson of the opposition. If you want to see this person pass through me, you scare away people. People like Matenga are scared now. How are you going to work with this person? According to me, if these people could have stopped to be selfish and front, actually Matiang'i was popular among all of them. People shout about Matiang'i to come back to the country. People never shouted for Kalonzo Musyoka, remember? People never shouted for Gachagua. But now they are trying to diverse whatever people wanted to suit their own interests. That is not working. That's why the issue of Matiang'i seems to be reserved. Right now, let him go, even if he's going to get 10,000 votes, but he will remain not intimidated, he will remain authoritative as he is. But this issue, whereby if I am very much of potential, then you are telling me, if you are in my team, I have the final say. It means that my democratic right has been curtailed. My freedom of political freedom has been curtailed. So until those people become serious or realize that it is not a one-man show, it can't be a one-man show. You need everybody on board. You need everybody. And also remember, if there's a president, there's a president. You cannot pretend that you are deputy or prime cabinet and also you want to be the co-president. It's quite much impossible because sometimes the president has authority and functions and roles which you are not having. So if you want to make me president, then you are telling me appoint so and so, appoint so and so, appoint so and so, or you are telling me to do things your way. And also I'm seeing the country on a different angle, which you are not seeing. You want me to do things according to your wish to punish your past opponent. That one cannot work. That's why I can say Matiang'i could be better because even if you look Matiang'i even on the TV and radio, he has tried to punch and hit direct to Ruto. It could be better. But now we have some people who are selfish. We have some people who want to run the show by themselves. They don't want to include people. So they continue messing, and William Ruto is just laughing at them.
All right. All right. Thank you, Miguda, for your time. I told you we were just only supposed to come for 1 hour, and it is exactly 1 hour. I was waiting for Makobura to come and deal the show, but he's still engaged. Judith, kwani mlikuwa na yeye unajua nakula keki? Oh, ama kwa sababu ni birthday yake. Obura ni mchoyo, ameamua kukula keki peke yake. So tomorrow akikuja hapa atuambie mbona aliamua kukula keki peke yake. Miguda, Makobura alikutumia keki kweli? Yeah. All right. Let me take this opportunity to thank Goodia and Judith for your time on this show and those who are watching us. This is Brother Benson Media. And if you are new here, you can subscribe so that when we go live, then YouTube will always notify you. Tomorrow, I hope Migoda and Makobura will be coming. Msimamo had an issue, and I think like we will find a way of fixing that because it keeps on coming on the studio and being kicked out. So I'm working on that. So next time he will have a peaceful a platform for conversation. We also have Laban Misiani. Laban Misiani is kind of like tired, but he will be here. Yes, sijui hata alijua aje. Itabidi tumfanyie uchunguzi kidogo. How can he know that Makobura is eating cake? Hata Miguda ajui. Miguda, hii mambo ya cake ulikuwa unajua?
Mimi nimeshtuka. Mimi waliniacha wapi? Why did they left me out? They left me out. Not hey.
Hiyo Judith lazima sasa tukuchunguze. Wewe sasa uko you are under investigation. How did you know that Makobura is having some cakes? You and Makobura, you will have to answer a few questions. Otherwise, thank you so much and may God bless you all. Miguda, I'll see you tomorrow.